Losam Chamyavu, Ketchum Alea, Inupu Paul Joe Ortiz Tea, Inupu Walupepu Yeu Rametuk, In Achai Joe Ortiz Tea, Into In Mala Rosa Matos Valenzuela Tea, In Havoy Jose Ortiz Teacan, Into In Haka Barbara Kivit Ortiz Tea, In apa Magdaleno Vacasewa Matos Teacan into In Asu Manuelita Alvarez Matos Teacan. Hello, my name is Paul Ortiz, and I'm the son of Joe Ortiz and Rosa Valenzuela. I'm also the grandson of Jose and Barbara Ortiz, as well as Magdaleno and Manuelita Matos. I am a member of the Pascuayaqui tribe of Arizona, and I grew up in the small town of Guadalupe. I am the youngest of four and have 13 nieces and nephews, as well as 39 first cousins just on my mom's side. All this to say, my family is very large. I found Native SOAR, Student Outreach, Access and Resiliency, during my spring 2023 semester at U of A. I was enrolled in a Native-focused English course taught by an Indigenous instructor, Steve Pelletier, who identifies as Dene and Navajo. I received an email from Felicia Tagaban Gaskin, another Native identifying instructor, inviting me to enroll in this HED 397 course. However, I put off enrolling in the course because at the time had no plans of permanently moving to Tucson and wasn't sure I could commit to the in-person mentoring required. HED 397, or Native SOAR, came at a time I didn't know I needed it. The first couple of weeks we focused on building a community, introductions, and had field trips. Early in the semester, we got a blessing from Jesse Navarro, a member of the Tohono Nation. We were also taken to NASA, the Native American Student Affairs Center. This was the first time I had ever heard of this free resource. This class that I put off taking gave me more than just a grade. It gave me a place to belong. It gave me resources to succeed. My mom is Yaqui, and my dad is Yaqui and Mexican. However, from an early age, I always felt as though I had to defend my nativeness because I didn't look traditionally Native American. There was always systemic bias on where I came from. My town is rich with culture, tradition, and beauty, but to the outside it was dirty, poor, and full of drugs. These were the first monsters I had to fight. Dr. Amanda Ticini states systemic monsters are the interlocking structures of power rooted in white supremacy, settler colonialism, racism, erasure, heteropatriarchy, and capitalism that disrupt sovereignty. I was forced to defend the color of my skin, why I spoke Spanish and not Yaqui, and why I don't look or speak like I came from Guadalupe. Later in the semester, Dr. Ticini was a guest speaker for one of our classes, and her energy radiated through the Zoom call into the classroom like a lightning in a thunderstorm. That thunderstorm was able to water the crops that Felicia had been planting throughout the semester, allowing the words from Nelson Youngbull's article, Indigenous Knowledge Realized, understanding the role of service learning at the intersection of being a mentor and college-going American Indian, that sharing similar cultural background served to help the mentors recognize the importance of mentoring relationship while also gaining a greater understanding of the impact they could have on their mentees by relating through their own experiences. Dr. Ticini, who identifies as Dene or Navajo, doesn't share the same tribal affiliation or gender as me, but her story and background from an indigenous perspective allowed her words to mean so much more and made me feel more than a token indigenous student. It also allowed us as mentors to switch roles and become the mentee. And as a man raised by a single mom, having a female indigenous doctor
and to keep going.
was overwhelmingly reassuring. During the semester, we were given the opportunity to visit local indigenous communities, including Walk in the San Javier district of the Tohono Reservation. During lunch, we were asked to introduce ourselves and name our tribal affiliation, if any, to community members from the education department. Some of our classmates introduced themselves and said they didn't have tribal affiliation. One of the women responded and told us that Otam means people, and we are all people. Therefore, we are all Otam, and we were always welcomed. In Home Away from Home, Native Americans' sense of belonging during their first year in college, there's a quote from another article stating, Native students are excluded from educational conversations and thereby are rendered invisible. The impact that the statement of "we are all people and you are always welcome" provided the foundation of the mindset I took into my mentorship at Desert View High School. Admittedly, going to mentor high school students is not an easy ask. Throw in mentoring Native American students to that ask made it really overwhelming. During a planning session, the topic of how to introduce more Native or Indigenous concepts came up. How do we engage the interest of young Native youth and allow them to understand that we were more than just Native mentees on paper? We started off our sessions with a heritage moment, where one of our Toronto mentors sang a song and explained its meaning and offered words of wisdom. This had the biggest impact in gaining respect from the mentees. It allowed them to see a Native American college student rooted in a culture, attending college, and making the knowledge we were bestowing have meaning beyond a QR code.
Just know that you are loved and you are needed. And I think, we all need to hear that. I need to hear that and be reminded, that we all have a place and we all have a job to do. We don't have a word for goodbye and all. It's "Domni," see you later. That word "Domni" is our form of acknowledgement that if we don't see each other in this life, we'll see each other in the next, wherever that is.